Hey y'all, welcome to today's video. My name is Shannon if you've not been to my channel before. I previously had a 12-year career working in dorms and working in college campuses across the country, mainly in the dorms, financial aid, scholarships, and working behind the scenes to create scholarships. So I have tons of college knowledge that I'm here to share with you, and today we're going to talk about a budget-friendly shopping list for the dorms. Now, all over social media, especially TikTok, there are so many videos of these gorgeous, and I will say gorgeous, dorm rooms. And most of them are very, very expensive, and truly most of them are super unnecessary. There is no reason to be spending hundreds and thousands of dollars on your dorm room. Like, let's be honest, for many schools, you're going to live in the dorms maybe 1 year. Some maybe longer depending on the school, their live-on requirements, or maybe you're going to move into a sorority or fraternity house. But many students are going to probably move off campus after the first year, and you do not need to buy all the things. Really, like, students and parents are going so hard into these dorm rooms that many of it is wasted money. Like, you're not going to use these items again. So what I want to do in this video is I'm going to break down for you what I would get more so for like a traditional dorm or a bedroom area of a dorm, what I would get if I'm in a suite style or apartment style dorm, and then share with you some maybes that are like dependent on it. Now this is really like your budget friendly, almost bare bones list because you don't need a Pinterest worthy dorm room. You don't need a dorm room that's going to be all over TikTok. You need a place to live, to sleep, to eat snacky snacks, to hang out with some friends, and of course do schoolwork. Like, you don't need a designer Architect Digest dorm room. So let's break it in because most of these items are items I do not have anymore because now I'm an adult who hasn't lived in the dorms in a while. I'll pop up pictures on the screen on either side and I'll link my product recommendations below just to make sure that you can see everything. I want to give you those options, but also empower you to not buy all the things. So let's jump in. We're first going to talk about bedrooms and also talk about more of a traditional dorm room. And when I'm in a traditional dorm room, I'm in a dorm room where you're kind of in that hallway situation where there's multiple rooms per floor, per wing, and then you share a community bathroom with 20, 30, 40 students in that area. So for the bedroom, of course, you need bedding. And with bedding, you need extra long twin sheets typically, comforter, pillows, blankies. But I want to caution you to not buy a super expensive comforter. Do not buy a $200 comforter. Do not buy a $150 comforter. You can get them for $30, $40. If you're not planning to live in the dorms multiple years, there's no reason to buy a super high-end comforter. A basic comforter is going to do you just as well. Same with pillows. I always see people advertising for dorm pillows, like extra body pillows or those like pillow buddies where it's like a pillow that you like sit on and you can like lean back on with little arms. If you don't use the pillows at home, you're probably not going to use it in your dorm room. You know, the only exception to that is sometimes it's nice to have a body pillow to have between you and the wall, but only bring what you're most likely would use at home. You don't need extras. You do not need throw pillows. You don't need expensive comforter sheets. Like, basic cotton is going to go way further because it's a dorm room. They're going to get dirty. People are going to sit on your bed all the time because there's not a lot of seating. Like, the basics is what's best. Save your money on bedding. Now, some of these items I'm going to rattle off here are very obvious. Obviously, you need to pack your clothes. You do not need to pack your entire wardrobe. Pack for the season, so you know where you're coming in, some warmer weather stuff, some fall into winter. When you go home, maybe for winter break, switch some clothes out. Spring break, switch some clothes out. Don't bring every single thing you own if you don't have to, because you're just going to take up way too much storage space in the room. Now, obviously, you need to bring like your laptop, whatever device you're using to take notes and do your schoolwork on. You're going to need school supplies. You probably will still want notebooks and pens, maybe pencils, Sharpies, highlighters, tape, staplers. Staplers are things people forget all the time. And if your teacher requires you to print papers, like, you need a stapler. Just do it. It's a basic office supply. You can get it for pretty cheap. Make sure you have those things in your setup and don't get in the trap of buying the super cute school branded ones at the bookstore. Like, I love those notebooks too, but like a $7, $8, $10 notebook that just has like your school mascot on it versus like a $1.50 notebook that you can get at Target or Walmart or on Amazon. Like, you're gonna get rid of the notebook for the year. You're not gonna hold on to it, so don't buy the super expensive one. Basic cleaning supplies. This is something you need no matter what kind of dorm room you're in. You need maybe cleaning wipes like Clorox or Lysol wipes, or an off-brand wipe that's going to work just as well. Paper towels. You won't imagine the amount of times students don't have paper towels in the room and they're like, something spills and they're rushing to the bathroom to get paper towels, or their bathroom doesn't supply those and then they're getting toilet paper. Bring the paper towels. And then I also actually recommend to bring a carpet cleaner spray, because most dorm rooms, not all, but many are going to have low pill carpet in them. And if you spill on them and you stain them and you don't clean it right away, you're probably going to get charged for that damage at the end of the year. So if you can get like a bottle of Folex or another cleaning spray that will help you clean up spills really quickly, whether you spill on like your dorm chair or the carpet or even your bedding, like that will be very helpful for you. Laundry supplies. Now with laundry rooms, if you do not have laundry in unit, I always recommend to either get laundry pods or sheets, because most of the time you're huffing it down that laundry room. You know, you're going to have your very heavy hamper, and then trying to carry like a heavy bottle of detergent too is just, it's not practical. So find a solution for you that's going to be lighter, easier. You know, if you're going to do 2 loads, it's easier to grab 2 pods or 2 sheets and take those with you, and maybe 1 or 2 dryer sheets if you like dryer sheets. Don't make yourself carry a huge container down to the laundry room. Now, speaking of laundry, 2 things that are a necessity to me: a laundry hamper and a laundry basket. Now with the laundry hamper, get something sturdier, either the canvas bags or a plastic one. Do not get the pop-up meshy ones. Everyone always says, oh, well then I'll fold it when I'm not using it. You're constantly gonna have dirty laundry. Like, you're never gonna put that thing away and like fold it up flat. So get one that's sturdier. Those mesh ones, they tend to like rip on the sides, or the handles rip off because the hamper's too heavy and you're dragging it to the laundry room. So go to TJ Maxx, do some online shopping, spend the money on one that's much more sturdier. It's going to save you a headache later. And then with laundry baskets, I actually recommend the collapsible ones. I have one in front of me. Oh, these bad boys. These are great. I have stuff in it right now, so I can't show you it folded down, but they fold flat. Then you can store it under your bed or in your closet or whatnot. That is great for your clean clothes. Because you're going to constantly have dirty laundry and things, have a basket. Like, you don't want to put your clean clothes back where your dirty clothes were. Like, ew, germy. Also, the baskets are great. Like, let's say you do a bunch of grocery shopping and you need help carrying stuff. You can put it in the basket. You can use it for moving in and out. It's just, you can use it for so many things. It's worth it to get it. Now, if you are in a traditional dorm room where you're sharing a bathroom with 20 plus people, get shower shoes. Just a pair of cheap, like Old Navy cheap flip-flops. Those are going to save you some toe fungus. So get the shower shoes and get the shower caddy. You can get plastic ones, you can get meshy ones, canvas ones, whatever you think you may use past that year, because a lot of people buy them and then like they toss them or donate them at the end of the year. So try to find one that you might use for something else later, depending on where you're living. Maybe put art supplies in it or something else. But have a shower caddy is going to make it so much easier for you to get your stuff to and from that bathroom. Obviously, you're going to pack towels. If you like to have hair towels, pack those too. I recommend bath sheets because they're so much bigger and like you're in a communal space, so it's easier to like have modesty and cover yourself up if that's something you want. And a bathrobe, like a lightweight bathrobe you can wear from your room to the bathroom and back. That also is super convenient when you're living in more of a traditional style dorm room. And then obviously with that, your toiletries, like I kind of talked about that with the shower caddy, but think about what you really are going to be using. You know, you're going to want your toothbrush and toothpaste. You're going to want all your shower stuff. Maybe you have hair products, care products, face products, those things. Depending on the traditional dorm you live in, you may have lockers or cubbies in that space. You might be hauling everything to and from your room. So do your research on the website for wherever you're living. See what the bathrooms have. They have lockers. Oftentimes you're providing your own lock. Many schools don't provide anything. So you need to have toiletries and things that you can carry back and forth from the bathroom and have a case to carry those in. So start really thinking that through of what you're going to really need to use in the bathroom versus what, you know, maybe skincare, hair care you can use in your room. Now, something that's essential in dorm rooms is power strips. Get the surge protector power strips. I say 1 or 2, get them pretty long. You don't want like the super short cord ones because dorm room outlets are never where you need them. They never are. And you're going to want to plug in your phone, your laptop, maybe a lamp and things. So like you want your outlets where you want them. Get the longer power surge protectors. It's just going to make your life easier. Something to say is also a must for dorm rooms is a storage ottoman. For many dorm rooms, the beds are kind of like half lofted so that you have storage space underneath. And a storage ottoman can be great because A, you can put storage in it. It's a great place to have shoes in or like random supplies and whatnot. But then also it helps you get into your bed. Or it's another seating area if people come over that's not your bed that people can sit on. So storage ottomans, I'd say Walmart usually has the best ones that are super sturdy. We even still in our household, we have two of them. They're in my eldest son's room that like my husband and I had from college. And like they have held up through us in college and we lived in the dorms the whole time and held up through my children. So check those out. Now, obviously, you're going to want to bring snacks, food. Look at the situation for your dorm room. Is it a microfridge? Is it a fridge freezer combo? Does it have a microwave? Are you allowed to bring a microwave? Check those rules first before you buy anything. Many schools are leaning towards supplying. They're called microfridge units where it has a fridge, a freezer, and a little microwave. Check those out. Know that like those microwaves are not huge. You know, obviously the freezer is not huge, the fridge is not huge, and you're usually sharing it with one or multiple other people. So figure out how you want to bring snacks. But if you are bringing dry good snacks, like you're bringing Easy Mac, you're bringing chips, Cheez-Its, whatnot, I say make sure to have a plastic storage container that all your food can go in. Reason why is dorm rooms are notorious for getting bugs and little rodent friends. And if your food is not kept in like a box that's like airtight storage box and you just have, you know, the boxes of Cheez-Its and cereal out, you might end up with, you know, your box getting a little bite in it and like a little friend is coming and eating that. And then they're like, oh, there's food. So more little friends come. So get a bin to put all those dry goods in. It'll just save you a headache. Now, maybe that's not actually an issue where dorm you're going to be in, but better safe than sorry. And of course, bring a reusable water bottle and then bring supplies to clean said water bottle, because if you don't clean your water bottle, that's disgusting. You're going to end up with bacteria and whatnot. So you're going to want the water bottle. Bring also the items to clean the water bottle. For those of you who have a period, bring all your period supplies. It's much better just to have a good first stock there with you versus needing to go to the store right away when that visitor decides to happen. So bring those period supplies. Bring a good umbrella because no matter where you are, it's going to rain at some point, and getting like soaked walking to and from your dorm to the classroom sucks. Like, have an umbrella. And then one of the number one things that so many students forget is to have like a medicine kit / first aid kit. Like the amount of students that don't bring Bandaids to college, and you're going to need a Band-Aid at some point. Like Bandaids, basic medication like Advil, Tylenol, you know, whatever you often use at home, make sure you have at the dorm as well, because it's not always easy to get things. You might have to go off campus. The health center is not always open 24/7. Like, have those things. Of anything that you use at home, have it in your dorm room. So that is my basic list for like a traditional dorm room. Obviously, if you're living in a suite style or apartment style, like those mostly apply to you, minus the bathroom area. But let's talk about those suite apartment styles, like my list of what I would have you pack. Now, the first one I'm going to say is small kitchen appliances. And this is like an asterisk one. Like, only bring what you use at home. So like if allowed by the policy guide, if you use an air fryer or a toaster or a Keurig, you can bring those as long as they're allowed, but talk to your roommates first. Like if you're living in a suite style, apartment style where you have that shared space, it's good to talk with one another first so you don't end up with like 2 or 3 Keurigs. You don't end up with multiple toasters or air fryers. Always double check what the policy guide says to see if you're even allowed to have those items. I mean, most are going to allow them in those sites, but you never know, so double check that, but talk to your roommates first before bringing them. But remember, only bring things that you actually use. Like, you don't need to buy a fancy air fryer if you never use your air fryer at home, because you're not going to use it at college either. Cleaning supplies for the kitchen. Now, this is important because you have to remember you're going to be cleaning the countertops, the sink. You are going to be cleaning up the stove top, the oven, the fridge. You need to have cleaning supplies for those areas, so ensure that you do have them and come with them. And oftentimes also in suite styles and apartment styles, you're required to have your own trash bags, so that's also a great investment to make as well. And then going off of that, the bathroom. Usually in suite and apartment styles, you have bathrooms shared by 2, 3, 4 people. You need cleaning supplies for that. You need things to be able to clean the shower, the toilet, the floor, the countertop and sink, like a toilet brush to scrub the toilet with. You know, those are things you also can talk through with your roommates about who's buying what, but it's also nice to just have those things on hand in case you need to clean it. Now, with the bathroom, some things to think about, and these also can be things to think about and talk with your roommates, are bath mats and potential shower curtains. You know, you do not need adorable bathroom decor. You just need to be able to use the basics. But a bath mat is essential. You know, then you're not getting water over the floor, potentially slipping. And then a shower curtain, depending on if it doesn't have doors, you'll want that as well. Now, going back to the kitchen, a few things that are essential, and you probably will also want to talk to your roommates about these things because you might share things, go in on things. You know, someone can bring some of this, you can bring some of that. Like, you could bring some. You're going to want, obviously, cups, plates, bowls, silverware, pots and pans, and pot holders. Everyone always forgets about pot holders, and then there's like one pot holder in the suite that everyone's trying to always use. You need all those basic supplies to be able to cook. So chat with your roommates, see who's going to bring what, you know, if you all want to go in on them together financially, or, you know, so-and-so is going to be responsible for the pots and pans, so-and-so is going to bring the dishes, someone's going to bring the silverware and like the cookware as well to be able to cook with, you know, the spatulas, the bigger spoons and whatnot. All the items you would use at home to cook, you're probably going to need there as well, but chat with your roommates and see what is needed. All right, so that's all my items for a suite or apartment style. Let's chat through some like maybes. And these are like true maybes because it depends on the school. It depends on what they allow. It depends on like, do you really need this to feel comfortable in your living space? So let's go through these. First is a vacuum. You probably are going to want to vacuum if the school doesn't apply it because no matter where you live in a traditional style or suite style, stuff is going to get on the floor. So that can be a great investment to have, to just get a smaller vacuum that's easy to store to be able to vacuum your space. I didn't mention in the suite style, but you will probably also want like a mop or a Swiffer system to be able to mop those harder floors as well in the bathroom and kitchen space. You know, talk with your roommates about that. Small appliances. Now, besides in a suite or apartment style, sometimes in the dorms, they will allow for traditional dorm rooms to have certain appliances. Sometimes they allow toasters. Sometimes they allow kuregs or air fryers. You know, when the dorm foreman grills were super popular, we didn't usually allow those. But look at the policy guide. If it's something you know you'll truly use, bring it. But like if you're on the fence, wait and see if you actually need it. Now, these are things that I say are not necessary at all, but people usually love them. Rugs can be great. Extra pillows or decor can be great. Like tall lamps or bedside lamps can be great, or bedside tables for your dorm bed. You know, those are all great comfort items, but they're not necessary. For most of them, I'd say like wait, see how your dorm room functions with you for a few days or a week. See if you really need those items. Like if the fluorescent bulbs are driving you up the wall, then you might want some lamps. You know, do you really want a rug to kind of keep that space a little more homey? Or do you need a bedside table because you didn't have one? And it's getting really frustrating of a place to like put your phone and like your glasses every night. So kind of live in the space and see what you need. Also, you're never going to know what height your bed is going to be at, what you're going to keep it at. So like that also factors into your bedside table of like if you buy a super tall table and then your bed is super lowered, awkward. So wait on those items. Other items I've seen people bring: TVs, gaming systems, stereo systems, small speaker systems. Like that depends on the person. You know, if you really need to bring it, but like you can survive without it. And then the last three are really decor items. Lights. Students love to get like those little like Christmas lights to put up above like the ceiling where the ceiling meets their wall. Those can be super cute, but they're not necessary. I know they're much cheaper nowadays than they used to be, but really check the policy guide on that because a lot of them have like rules about how many can be connected together, what type you can get, and what you can use to adhere them actually to the wall and ceiling. So double check that. Make sure you're not going to peel the paint off and get charged for that. Decorative pillows, you know, they're not needed. They're just not needed. But like if you really love them and that makes you happy. And another one that is super trendy right now is headboards for extra long twin beds. Like for me, they're cute. They're semi-functional. But like you don't need it, and for most people, you're gonna live in the dorms 1 year, and then like what you're gonna sell it or donate it. So only spend your money on that if you truly feel like you need it. All right, y'all. So that was my like basics, budget-friendly dorm list for traditional style dorms and suite styles. These are like what you need to survive and be in the space without all those extras. Now, if you want the extras, you have the money to spend on it, good for you, you do you, but do not feel pressured to have an amazing dorm room that's Pinterest worthy, that's worthy of a TikTok reveal video. You don't need it. You are not going to be in your room as much as you think. You are going to be out and about at classes, maybe clubs and activities, spending time with people. You want your room to be a safe and comfortable space for you? Yes, of course, but you're not going to be in there 24/7. So really think about what you need to prioritize and prioritize in your budget to make yourself comfortable. And remember, you can always buy things later. If you're like, oh, I would like that, but I don't have the money for it right now, and then you decide you really want it later on or need it, get it later on. You do not need to have everything with you at move-in. That is not necessary. Alright, y'all, please make sure to like and subscribe. I post new videos on this channel every Monday, all about my experiences with colleges, so those 12 years of working in the dorms, working with scholarships and financial aid, and working on creating scholarships with donors. I'm giving you all my inside info so that you can succeed. I hope you're having a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon.